Welcome everyone to our Tuesday night chat. Tonight is really about getting together as a community and finding out about how you are all doing. I'm Kelli Wilkins from My Self Reliance, and it's so good to be with you. We just have a few things that are happening that I'd love to share with you all and get your input on. Tonight, first of all, some announcements. Tonight, we are excited to let you all know of our fundraiser happening on the 21st of June in Sydney. It's a barn dance. It's $55 a ticket, or you can come as a couple for $100, or if you get 10 together, it's $45. And so, best deal if you come together as a group. The theme is flowers and friends. So wear a flower, bring a flower, pop one in your hat or your hair, or wear it on your clothing. And we're going to celebrate all things flowers and friends. It's a night of connection and meeting people, lots of fun, music, boot scooting and dancing, kick up your heels and having a good time. So come along. We're going to have raffles and lucky draw prize for best dressed and some of our favorite. You can purchase items there from our favorite fermentation lady, Candice Coughlin. She's going to set up her table there, and then we also have our tickets on sale for the Freedom Summit. So we're going to be revealing some of our key note speakers, but you can count on Zev Freeman. I know everyone's favorite. Zev Freeman's going to be there. And Michael O'Neill will be there. And so we love those two. It doesn't matter which side of the board you're on, there's something there for everyone. So we'll have our sound bath and ice bath and yoga and all the good things that we're used to having. Our potluck dinner, and on the Friday night, and there's camping included in your ticket. Early bird prices are $195 for members and $225 for non-members, held on the 24th of October to the 26th of October. So set aside those dates, get your tickets, and join us in October for the Freedom Summit. You're going to love it. Okay. Tonight's topic, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Glad to see we've got Greg in the room. And Greg, I'm going to, as our sponsor, I meant to do this right up the front. So I'm going to share with you share with everyone can everyone just hold for 1 minute? I want to get my bigger bottle. Okay. So, official sponsor, Greg Evans of the My Self Reliance channel. I want to share with you ASEA. Now, So I want to share with you something that's changing lives around the world. ASEA is a breakthrough created by atomic medical physicist Dr. Gary Samuelson. He managed to stabilize something called redox signaling molecules outside of the body. These molecules are made in every one of our cells and are essential for healing and repair. ASEA is the only product on the planet with these molecules and is 100% non-toxic. The drink helps at the cellular level, while the Renew 28 is a gel and you can rub it on your skin. It boosts circulation by 50%. Redox Gold is applied directly to the areas of pain with many people feeling instant relief. Now there are thousands of real stories from people who have seen amazing results, because every condition starts at the cellular level. This is a game changer from ASEA. So let me just share with you a photo that can demonstrate to you how amazing this is. You can see he's applied the gel.
Spray. Drinking
the spray.
Yep, and he drank it just 60 mils 3 times a day for 2 days.
Oh,
Mm.
wow. Look at the difference.
He was in a
Wow.
house. He was in a house fire. Oh, wow.
Tell us the story, Greg.
The gentleman was in a house fire, and that's some of the damage. And it just, I don't know whether he was too tender to apply the gel, so he had to drink in a spray bottle. And then, so he's just spraying his face most of the time and drinking 60 mil 3 times a day.
Wow. And that's what the redox signaling molecules can do, go right to the heart of the cells that need it the most and start to repair.
The redox molecule is made in the mitochondria, um, but at the age of puberty, there's a reduction in production by 10% a decade, which is your aging process. So all you're doing is increasing your immune system naturally.
Right. Beautiful. That is amazing, the results that can happen. And I'm sure you've got many more um, pictures like that that you could share with us with before and after results. Everyone loves before and after results. Yes, so that's awesome, Greg. Thank you for being our sponsor.
Pleasure.
I'm going to run through an exercise with you all that is going to be something that this is going to be about you and about something that you want to work on in an area of life that's important to you, and that you can use this method. This, I want to show you a prep method to really go improve that area, whichever area it is. And I'm going to show you how we do this. So you might want to take out a paper and a pen. On my screen, I want you to draw a circle and divide it into 5 parts. So you can go down, make a triangle, and then out, and that makes the 5 parts. Or you can just do these in a sequence of 5. And in that circle, write food, health, relationships, education, and money. We'll just list them down. Food, health, relationships, education, and money. If you're on, okay. So what we're looking at here is these are the areas of prepping. So, my self-reliance is all about preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. And so what we do is we're going to, if you are prepared in the area of food, it would mean that you had a good supply of food. If anything was to happen, you'd have food storage, or you are got growing your own happening on a good scale. You are well versed on how to get nutritious food. Like that would look like that food area is pretty well taken care of. And I would want you to rate yourself out of 10. 10 being like, I'm so up there, I've got my food handled. It's, I've my freezer's full. I've got a 3-month supply, or at least a good 2-week supply of food if anything was to happen, blah, blah, blah. So that's a 10. A 0 is obviously right down the end of the scale. Okay. Then in the area of health, if you've got really great health, you're on top of it, you're using natural products, you don't get sick, you might be a 10. So give yourself a rating 0 to 10 in the area of health. Okay, and then in relationships, I want you to take a look at this area, and if you have really good relationships, your communication is great, you're getting on, you love people, then you might be a 10 in the area of relationships. When it comes to education, it doesn't mean you know everything, but you are a learner. You love to learn. You have you're keeping up, with some kind of study, or you know where to turn for information. You've got a good resource for education, and not just knowing stuff, but knowing yourself as well. So it could be self-development. It could be, personal growth, anything in that area. And then the last area is money. If you have tons of money, you know how to save, you've got some good investments happening, you have you got stores, or you got supplies, so that if anything's to happen, you've got a different avenues of income. Then you might be a 10 on that scale. So because I can't see a lot of you, just give me a thumbs up in the chat, or write yes if you've gone through each of those and you've rated yourself. Okay. All right, lovely. Okay. All right. Now, do you have for those that are playing along, is there one area that seems to be less than the other areas? Yep. Okay. In that area, I want you to write a statement of what it is that you would like to have happen. So if it's the area of health, you might write a statement about how you would like your health to look. Paula, what would you like your med bed to do for you?
Okay, I've just unmuted myself. Give me a new thyroid, and I'll have no more fatigue, and be able to go for it in life. Not have to rest almost every day.
Paula, do you still have a thyroid?
Yes.
And
I can help you with that.
Are you overactive or underactive?
I swing.
You swing. I didn't know you could be a swinger.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this the area that you rated that was on the lowest scale?
Yes. Yeah. 5 out of 10.
Okay. Oh, very good. Were you doing well in the other areas then? I just thought your comment was funny. You would like a med bed. I like that. Do you want to work with me in this area, or because we're going to go to work and I need some, you want to work with me?
Yes.
All right. So when looking at this area, we're going to use the PREP method, PREP, to see what we can do to work through this area of health and how we can improve it. Okay?
Okay. Do you mean privately or on Zoom?
On Zoom, so that everyone can see how we work through this PREP method. So do you want to still do it, or do you want me to pass it to somebody else?
Pass it to someone else, please.
Okay, no problem. All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Who would like to work with me? And I promise you, at the end of it, you'll have a breakthrough. It might be tough because you're the one answering the questions, but it's bonus for you.
I'll do it if no one else wants to.
Okay. Okay, Cherie, which area did you pick?
Well, we went through money the other night with everybody, so food was my other one that was low.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. All right. So tell us what is the P? The first P is problem. So what's the problem around food?
There's a lot. I want a garden. I don't have time, but I could make time, but having to work for like having to do Uber all the time is making me eat out more than I should. And I more often than not, I don't have food in the house because it'll just go off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really starting from down the bottom and trying to find strategies to at least step slowly towards optimal food.
So, and why do you want a garden?
Well, I used to be able to go to Woolworths and get really nice, plump fruit and vegetables, and now they're like stingy, for want of a better word.
Right.
And they don't last. So I kind of look at it and go, why bother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you want produce that is tastier, that's going to last longer, that's going to be good for you, and Woolworths and Coles are not providing that anymore. So if you had a garden, you could presumably have produce that's going to tick all those boxes.
Yes, but the problem with that is I kill things.
Yeah, so gardening's not like number one on
Kept a generation.
and also skills. Yeah, so that's beautiful. That's really clear. It's really clear for everyone. I feel like that, the problem is that you want fresh produce and you're not able to do it yourself in the garden at the moment because you're spending time working rather than being able to spend time in the garden. You have a space for garden at home?
I actually have a space, and I don't know how ideal it is because I don't know how much sun it gets, and whether it's an ideal spot. But it's a huge space that I've actually had dug up and prepared to put a garden, and then never went ahead and did it.
Okay.
So now it's growing grass in it again.
Right. So we're going to move on now to the R, and I'm going to ask you some different questions in around the letter R, which stands for resources. If nothing changes, then you still have to go to work. You still have to and that can look like Ubering at the moment, and that's still taking you away from the garden. So what else could you do to get fresh produce that maybe isn't about you creating a garden?
I guess finding someone who grows it too much and maybe swapping or buying from them or whatever.
So you could do swapsies. What else could you do? Maybe people listening in, if you have some ideas, maybe if you've been in the same boat, maybe type them into the chat and help Cherie out because there's lots of ideas. So let's support Cherie in this.
Growing sprouts, like a little tray on the kitchen.
Yeah, okay. So rather than going for the big garden, you could go for some nutritious sprouts. Yeah, that's a great thought. Yeah.
But the other option would be if you have a place for a garden and not the time, get other people that could come and help you with the labor. So each and every one of you can contribute some time and effort to growing a garden together.
Yeah, have a community garden. Invite people to say, I've got the space. Let's all grow the community. Let's do the garden. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I was thinking along the lines of community. A few years ago, everybody was growing their fruit and vegetable, or some types of fruits and vegetables, in their on the verge, and everybody, all the neighbours would come and do their little bit and then share. But of course, because I believe because it was helpful to people and healthy, the council shut it down. But
On their
she's
land.
already got hers in her own yard, so that would be an excellent idea. What was the last speaker said? What was his name?
Pete.
Pete. That was, a great idea. You've got the space, and people could come and do their little bit. Each would have different amount of time and that sort of thing, and then you could share the fruits of your spoils.
Yeah. How do you feel about that idea, Cherie?
That sounds interesting. I'd have to find the people.
Mm.
And
Well,
also the Andrew's idea for sprouts, they are just so nutritious. And quite often, if we haven't got lettuce and things like that for a salad, if you just put a big heap of those sprouts on, that can take the place of a lettuce, and it's really, really delicious, and it is just so nutrient packed.
yes.
And it doesn't take up much space, and
your mini greens.
Yeah. Microgreens, yeah.
Microgreens, that's right.
And
we did do a class on
Maybe get Paul and Psycho to come and present at your next event. They are an absolute microgreen specialist. They are amazing, those two.
That'd be great.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And microgreens, I think it just takes a bit of introduction and a bit of guidance in the beginning, but they're really super simple once you get into it. Yeah, 100%. Cherie, how do you feel about those ideas?
Cool. Sounds good.
Anything else do you think that hasn't been said? So we've got farmers markets, we've got
Community garden.
Yeah. You've got sprouts. Any of those ideas grab you, Cherie?
I like the sprouts idea.
Yep.
Farmers markets tend to be on the weekend when I'm working, so that could be tricky.
Josh said aquaponics is so good because if you want to get into it, he knows all about that. Thanks, Josh.
I need to talk to Josh anyway because he wants oils.
Yeah, have a chat. Okay, so all right. I love those resources. Now, let's turn to E. E is for education. We've heard some of those ideas. When we're looking at education, the question is, what would you need to learn, or what could you learn that could help bring you up to speed with knowing how to grow better?
Well, it's easy to find information if you know what you're looking for on Google.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know how to decipher what's good information and what's not. And I'm pretty good at that these days. So that's one thing. I actually subscribed to a program that is about growing a garden in raised beds, and I've got all of those emails and all of that information that I have to study once I have the time to do a proper garden.
Yeah.
So that's I've got the education part of it is pretty well covered.
Awesome. That's all right. So you know where to turn to find out about that and to learn
Yeah.
more about those areas. I actually follow a group and it comes with an app
Oh,
called
yeah.
Old School Traditions. I think that's right. Anyway, I'll send it to you. It is really, I get regular updates, and there's an app that you can go in all the different areas. Um, I'm getting that wrong somehow, but I'll find out what it's called. It is, I can't remember. So there's lots of educational groups and programs and things that you can learn. All right, the last P is people. So who do you know, and this group could contribute some ideas. Who do you know that let's just talk about microgreens, that you could turn to that is expert in microgreens that could help you in this area?
Well, I don't really know anybody at the moment.
Consider that you know Pepe. Do you know Pepe from 560 Farms? He spoke at the summit last year.
I didn't get to any of the
our
speakers because I was on my stall. So I'm
Well-
thinking this year I might have less stall time and more listening time.
Well, also we have done a Zoom call on here, so you could. So in terms of education, you can go back and have a look at that that Zoom call, or I could introduce you personally because that's what he does. And
You also know Kelly, who has connections.
Yes.
that's right. You're connected right at the top. So yeah, I can introduce you directly. Paul, and Paul used to run a microgreens class here at Ryde in Sydney. He knows about them. Farmer Josh, there you go. He's offering to give you a few tips for sure. And so it only takes really knowing one person.
Josh, when you say aqua greens, are you talking aqua, what was it? Aquaponics? Is that same as hydroponics?
Aquaponics is basically hydroponics is aquaponics without the fish, and you're just constantly monitoring the nutrient levels, which is, I don't think it's a very natural sort of system, hydroponics, because you look like this particular nutrient's low, okay, add that. This one's low, add that sort of thing. But so basically, it's hydroponics is aquaponics without the fish. A lot of people have hydroponics and they try and convert it into aquaponics, but then you have the other difference, which is the bacteria. So hydroponics is just on the whatever chemical nutrient balance or whatever you've put into it, into the nutrient tank. But aquaponics has the beneficial bacteria to do all that stuff. So that's the main difference.
And you have fish in it.
Yeah, the aquaponics has fish, and then obviously they produce ammonia, so then the beneficial bacteria get onto that and process it into plant available nutrients.
Interesting.
Yeah. But if you're time poor, it's not the thing to do.
Yeah.
You're better off in your situation. Microgreens are going to be a much easier thing to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when it comes to people, this is why we have the Tuesday night chat, so we can meet people who know about these things. So I dare say, in every area, food, health, relationships, education, and money, there's going to be a call that we've done in the last 3 years that's going to support you in each of those areas. And so you can go back through the channel and pick out those topics and then find the people who can really support you.
So just one thing on microgreens, if you don't mind me adding, is just so when I first started doing microgreens, something I noticed. So you'll have a lot of different people who will give advice on microgreens, and they're all done in different ways. Now, almost all of those ways will work, But what I found didn't work is taking bits from everyone and trying to put it together. You just sort of got to do one method. So like you have a method, let's say you have just in a container, no drainage holes. That's one method. Or you have it in almost like a sieve system, so it's really drained. Like there's many different ways to do it, and they all work. Most of them work really well, but it's a matter of just picking one and doing it, not sort of taking it from the raw. Anyway, that's something I found with doing microgreens myself.
Oh,
So
that's a
you
really
can't mix them up.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a really
good
good
point.
tip. Thanks, Josh.
Oh.
Yeah, so good.
That's like doing a diet, the same thing.
So do you feel like going through that process, Cherie, that you have a bit more idea about how you can boost that area of food?
Yeah, and the thing is, most of those things are things that are a recognizable thing for me. It's not something I've never heard of. It's just good to like brainstorm and have it down on paper so that you can kind of go, okay, well that works for me, and or that might not. So it was good. Thanks.
Yeah. And now you have like you can take first steps. Before it's kind of
I
like
actually have some alfalfa seeds that somebody gave me. Actually, Catherine's son gave me, that I haven't done anything with yet. So I might try that first.
beautiful. Awesome. So did while we were going through that process with Cherie, did anyone apply that process to the thing that you're working on? And does anyone else want to share what you come up with? Or does anyone want to work with me? We can go through your scenario if you didn't come up with something.
Okay, I could do one with, let's say money.
All right, Andrew, area of money. Let's look at the problem. What's the problem?
Not enough.
Universal problem.
Yeah, no.
Who else feels like that? Not enough money. Yeah, bring it on.
Never enough.
But there's two different things with the money, is not enough and the type of money. What I mean by that is the need to show up to actually earn money versus an ongoing income sort of money. The two different types of money. At the moment, I'm in a situation where my money is too dependent on other people. Like say for my wife, she's dependent on what her boss, whether the boss wants to keep her or wants to sack her, or there's some other pandemic crap coming along that say you have to be mandated to keep your job. There's that. And for me, my job's good. I've got a lot of flexibility, but it's dependent on a family member who's getting on. And if that person gets sick, then there's no income. So it's a dependency on other people to earn the money and the type of money. So two different things.
And what did you come up as your resources?
My resources are the skills that I currently have. My background. So I've had a background in some business, a little bit in sales. I've got a background as a pastry cook and sort of general maintenance sort of stuff. So they're my background and skills. I also have, I guess, contacts, people, but that gets into who do you know? So that's jumping the gun there. I've got a lot of books that I can read through. They're probably the main resources that come to mind straight off.
Yep. Yep. And anyone else with this area, you can list off what resources you have. And I love that Andrew's gone through, he's very, very clearly defined the problem, and then he's looked at his skills as part of his resources. So just apply for yourself what your skills would be and where you would go for resources. And I love that he's gone back into the kinds of things that he's done previously. And all of those are a great bundle of resources. And really all of that's from the past too, right? So so education kind of steps into the future a little bit. So what did you come up with education?
So for the education, kind of a bit of overlap between resources and education with the books. So I've got lots of books on personal development stuff. Education would also be online tutorials is another resource. Or kind of resource and education, almost similar thing there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with the education is you need to clarify on what you want to do so you know where to educate yourself. Because if you don't know where you're going, what are you going to educate yourself on?
That's right. And we had this conversation the other day around this area, and it's really interesting when it comes to this area of money. We tend to look, and when we're looking at resources and things in the past, and okay, well, how can we, can we use some of those skills that we already have to make money? Some of those things are kind of like, been there, done that, don't really want to go back there again. And so we kind of looked at in a new realm of have this education be more like a opportunity for a transformation, a light bulb moment, like, okay, what could I do in the future that's maybe it's not something that I'm necessarily skilled in, but it's going to, we're now in the information era where information is the gold and not as much skills is like, maybe we've been hands-on before, but maybe now it's like, and especially where you are in terms of where you're at in your life, is passing on that knowledge could be more valuable to the next person. And so being able to create a commodity out of your knowledge is maybe a possibility, or something that takes more your ability to be with people rather than it does your labor. And there's lots of opportunities now like that in different areas where we have even a lot of people in this conversation. Even Greg, when we shared about, the transformation that the man took with the ASEA, just sharing health, sharing what works, people will pay money for learning about something that really solves a problem. And so that's the era that we're in. We're in the era of information and problem solving. And that's, can be worth much more to people these days. Did you have anything else in this area that you came up with, Andrew, after thinking about what it is that you could do in the area of money? Anything new come up for you?
Yeah, I realize I have I guess it's a natural tendency to limit yourself based on your previous experiences. So I guess that's because it's your comfort zone. So you tend to stick with what you know. I guess there's there's a good and a bad side to that. The good side is you kind of already got something to start with. But if you're working in the same field, what are you going to do different to give you a different result? And the other thing is if you're going to do something completely different, to know what your capabilities are, so you're not kind of doing something that's totally unrealistic, but yet it's within something that stretches you to within your capacity that you can grow into.
Well said. Greg pointed out, consider multi-level marketing or direct sales for additional income for anyone who's also in this boat. There's no financial outlay required. You don't have to buy the goods. You don't have to store them. You don't have to pay for staff. There's no insurance, but you can create a residual income for the future. So yeah, I do support that wholeheartedly, Greg. Okay. And then the last area is people. Andrew, who do you know that has been kind of in the same boat that has gone before you and who's either doing what you want to be doing or has solved that problem for themselves and could show you the way?
Yes, I do know people. Whether they're doing what I want to do, I'm not so sure, but they would definitely have knowledge and skills that would apply to kind of general areas that could be useful, that's for sure. You don't have to have somebody particularly as doing exactly what you want to do, but there are general business principles that apply to everything. And personal development is something that sort of applies to every area. So that I know people in that area that I could draw knowledge of and get coaching from, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. And everybody needs a coach. Every coach needs a coach because a coach is able to help us to see our blind spots and to put things in clarity that maybe we didn't see before for ourselves. So, yeah, I want to encourage everybody to, if there's anything on the wheel that you want help and support with, reach out. This is what this group is all about. My Self Reliance is here to be the conduit to connect you with the people, to provide you with the education and the resources to solve these problems. And that if we are on top of this area, food, health, relationships, education, and money, then you're going to be quite well prepared for if something, for you needing a plan B or something was to happen. If something, we live in the world of change, constant change. And so, being prepared in these areas gives us strength and gives us peace of mind that we can overcome difficulties as they arise. So, has this been helpful for anybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. And can everyone write in the chat the area that you saw that you would like to be at work on? Great, Mill. Yeah. So just write the area that you think, this is the area for me. I think I want to work on that area. Thanks for everyone for playing along. I really appreciate it that you're being here and being willing to do this activity along with us because, it really is it's really super important to for each of us to be prepared, because as each of us grow in self-reliance in each of these areas, then when we've got it handled, we're better off being able to help somebody else. Okay, and so all of us are going to need help in different areas at some point, and so one area we might be really skilled in, another area we might fall down in, and somebody else is going to be able to be that balance for us. So, you can't. It's really unusual for someone to be excellent in all the areas. So if you're like with the same number all the way around and you could like drive on your wheel and it wasn't lumpy, then that's very unusual. Congratulations to you. But usually, there's going to be some area that we fall a little bit short of another area. And just doing this exercise can really highlight that and allow us to go, I haven't really considered, that area for a while. Maybe my relationships need sharpening, or my health needs a little bit of improvement. And this just allows us to get that into perspective. So, yeah, thank you. Thanks for participating and for working through it, guys. And do reach out if you do need help and you didn't want to say anything in front of the group, but you'd like help in any of these areas or like to work through the process. Reach out to me. I'm here for you, and that's what showing up to these Tuesday nights are all about. Is we usually have a speaker who's working on one of these areas and really can really speak to it. And also that's what we're doing in the Freedom Summit. We are going to cover off each of these areas, and so that you can come away and go, right, I feel my cup is full, and now I feel ready to be able to be confident in the world and be at peace and be calm, to be able to manage anything that comes my way. And it's a big a lot of change happening, and we can see that. Next week we have a great topic in the area of AI, and so this is something that is definitely in our future, whether we want to participate within it or not. It's definitely here to stay, and so it's really good to get to the bottom of what's going on with the AI situation. So Leanne Shelton will be here to guide us through that, and really she's all about taking the human approach to AI. And then the week after we have Bill Chambers, who's an Aussie legend in the country music industry. He's actually the dad of Casey Chambers. And so we're going to get to know him, and he's going to tell us some stories and share with us his life as a country musician, and maybe hear some stories about Casey as well. And so looking forward to having you join us. If there's any topics that you would like to hear about, please share, send them through, send me an email. You can jump on the Telegram chat and, suggest a way. And also, you can go back and have a look at the last 3 years of interviews that we've done. We've covered a lot of topics, but we haven't covered them all. But if you know somebody that you would love to hear me interview on this channel, please reach out and consider being a member of My Self Reliance. We have Wilma, who's in WA, and she is our hub leader in WA, and we're about to get some activities off the ground in Perth. So she would love to know if you're in WA and watching. Let her know, let me know, and we'll hook you up together, and that you'll be able to get to meet in person. And jumping on here is the thing to do. Get to know each other so that you can get to know each other in real life. So Farmer Josh is in WA. Wilma, there you go. You're not the only one. And so I hope you can get together in person, do some really great activities. And so all over Australia, that's what we want to have happening. So thanks for joining me tonight, everybody. Really appreciate you being here. Scuba Pete, he's another of our hub leaders in New South Wales. And so reach out if you want to be part of our live events. And do come along and join us on the 21st of June. Looking forward to seeing you. All right. Good night, everyone.
All right.
No.
Good night, Kelly. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Andrew.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Josh.
Bye.
Have a good